It's a journey, y'all. It's called The Journey Within. That's what my friend said to me. She said,
Genius.
there's no greater journey than the journey within.
All right, here I am sitting at the table. First, thought was, hey, let's do what we do and let's do it well. I'm sending your love. I'm sending my love your way, and you know what? Because it's your love, I receive it too. I think that it's such a beautiful thing to know that there's like reciprocation. Like just timeless, right? Like me sending love out to the greater world right now means I'm gonna receive it as well at any like point in time or any given time when it's most required. But it actually reminds me of like a Bible verse I read this morning, and it's like something along the lines of like, the one command that God has given us is for all of us to love ourselves or love each other, right? So I think that's beautiful. I think it's amazing. Just in general, like I've just been feeling so much more called to like doing, my own readings for the channel as well. So if you see me popping out a little bit more than usual, then hey, you know what's up, you know what's popping. I know something that's been very important or key for me, just, chat a little bit before I get into the message 112. It's like I've been like seriously detoxing from social media, and the amount of time that I've had to like sit with my thoughts and just feel my feelings, I would say, I think it's been very important. And I'm thinking about previous videos where I've been like kind of anticipating this moment, and I know that there's even like a video that's coming up soon that I took like way earlier this year, just like part of the new series. But it's crazy how Spirit kind of put me in a position where, just to speak about this video for a little bit, where I was able to, see what version of myself I was before this time. And like, I almost like got a glimpse into like where I was evolving into what I was becoming, right? And it's beautiful to see just how that is actually shaped up and how I can see myself like becoming that, like, embodying the energy, like stepping into the energy. So it's just a beautiful thing, just personally, to have experienced more of a connection with myself and my guides, because I've eliminated some distractions, you know what I mean? So yeah, man, I think it's interesting because I think like when you break out of a cycle, or a habit or a way of doing things, now coming back to the message, it's like it's a transition, it's a change. And the first card that I pulled out here from this deck that we're using today, it is the Cosmic Crossroads Oracle. I don't know if this is like putting in zoom nicely, but I'll put it here as well. But so I literally just opened up this deck and I pulled like literally the first card from the top, and Spirit was like, yo, this is it. And here we have the Adventure, the song that I resonate with when I think about this is Russ Adventure, and it goes, I'm not lost, I'm on an adventure. And it's just a very beautiful song. Honestly, I've channeled it before here on the channel. Channeled on the channel, like but also it's like a channel, like it's like a pipeline, I remember in the previous video we were talking about like a current, just the way things are going through that passage, you being the channel as well, the channel of energy, but you being also like the channel of like like you tune in to the channel, and then things are like going through the channel. Okay, there was something else I was thinking about there, but it kind of just like went away for a second. But like the channel being, of course, the energy going through it, but the channel being clear enough for things to go through, something along those lines. But I'm trusting it. It's gonna make its way or make sense as we keep going. But when I think about us being on an adventure, by the way, welcome to Roots Holistic. We are in our Soul Medicine series. I am G3E, your host, doing the absolute most. I send love, tons of love and light your way. Hope you're having a beautiful day. And we align with high vibes. Welcome to the tribe. Subscribe. I think like, as we go through life, there's always going to be like peaks, troughs, like you take a corner here, you go into like a hole, you come out on top. Like, you get me? It's like it's a whole Indiana Jones, Lara Croft, Tomb Raider type of thing happening for all of us in different ways. My voice sounds so cracky today for some reason. I don't know. But something that comes to mind is just how, we have to appreciate the adventure, appreciate the journey, because there are so many things that we are getting along that, right? But we'll dive in. I think there's more to that. The next card that I got out from this other deck is, and this one is, where's this box? Okay, here we are. This one is Kyle Gray, Keepers of the Light. I'll show it on this side as well. Oh, the ring light is ringing. Okay. Ooh, maybe somebody's ringing. I don't know. Your ear might be ringing, or like you're hearing bell sounds, or just things like, I don't know, high frequency pitch sounds. I don't know, that might be of significance. But the next card that I pulled out here, both, of course, one card from each oracle deck. This one is Lady Portia, Divine Order. For me, this is a reminder that things are going as they should, when they should, how they should, even though we don't understand, It's like you're going on an adventure and you are thinking, what's that Ice Cube movie? Are we there yet? It's like, why is it taking so much time? Or what's needed for me to connect the dots or bridge the gap, get to the place that that your guides, God, angels, ancestors, higher beings and forces have shown you that you are going to, or even destined to, attracting, deserving of. You get me? It's just you and whatever you desire. There's an energetic match that has taken place, right? But this divine order is just a reminder to me that just thinking about the story that I spoke to earlier, it's about that tapping in, doing what you feel is right. So for me to do this social media fast/detox was for me to tap into myself deeper. I've always been tapped in, but it's like, yo, there's more. And Spirit was like, I was like, oh shit, Spirit, are you serious? And it's like, yeah, like there is so much more. So I was like, okay, cool, then let's go. So, even as I feel like going back and exploring, oh my goodness, it just got so quiet and so chilled for a second. I don't know if you guys can hear that. But even though I think about doing certain things that I used to do before, things that perhaps old ways of being, behaviors, habits, even being around certain people, places, spaces, I'm reminding myself of why did I not stay with those things? Because they were not part of the version of me that I am now, or even the version that I am becoming, because I've spent so much time evaluating what works for me. And I'm sharing my story in this message to say, I think that's something that we are all going through, or we are being encouraged or invited into doing. I got so many messages from my angel number book the other day about Spirit encouraging all these different messages. And it's a matter of saying what, on this journey, on this adventure, we are encouraged to continue and trust that everything is in divine order. And like this message is saying here, do what you feel is right. An important lesson is unfolding. Because on every step, on every path, on every adventure that we take, some long, some short, wherever we are going, there's something that our soul can gain from that experience, from that journey, 822, that is going to take us further, that is going to take us stronger, wider. Okay, I'm seeing this candle flickering here on the right hand side. So it's just interesting, that there's movement, and this movement is actually, while it's like an external movement, the movement is bringing us back into ourselves to figure out yo, what is it that you actually feel? Because it's like being on a journey but without a GPS. It's like your inner self, your higher self knows where you're going. So it's about you feeling or tapping into what it feels like to get the guidance or get the direction that you need. And interestingly, I'm saying this, and that's kind of one of the lyrics in this song. I feel like quoting more of it, but I also feel like if this message resonates with you, you'll take the time and go listen to the song. And nice thing about songs these days is you can just Google the lyrics. I remember back in the day when I was still a little kid, a little beginning as they call it. We had to write down lyrics, number one, or two, we would open the CD book leaflet and hoping that, there are some lyrics in there. Other times you would just listen to the song over and over and just like have to write down the lyrics yourself. But now, things are better, things are different. We're in a different part of the life adventure where they've introduced so much ease and flow into this. Anyways, with this right candle flickering, I'm getting a presence of very much like a feminine energy right now is coming through, just to calm down the vibes, just protect the space as well. And I'm being very much led to look at this Holy Spirit card, and I mean, just looking at both cards here, the Lady Portia as well as the Holy Spirit, they both look feminine. So I think that speaks to also what I'm feeling right now. But what it says here at the back of this deck, it says, expect miracles. Remember that only love is real. And was I not just saying at the beginning how we must just love each other? But then it also continues to say, miracles will occur naturally. Spirit has your back. Wow. It's like, why do we have to think about how things are going to be? And we just have to like flow with them, One of the things that I can tell you, I think, Spirit's using me again for stories today. Okay, sorry, confirmation, but I've been thinking a lot about like the growth of this channel, right? And I'm just thinking like, there are some people who I know would watch and not do any like sort of engagement, and other people a few people at this point who like constantly watch and like leave a comment, make it even to the end of the video and drop a comment, or even just whatever's happening in that video, they ultimately engage with it. And this candle's going off again, and it's just my reminder. It's like, what, I'm not gonna be, if I'm thinking about this in the context of this card, right? I don't know when this channel is gonna be at the level or growth or make the impact that I know that it is making, because I know that this content, this art, this channeling, this reading, this podcast, this stream of consciousness, right? Wow, it's a miracle also in itself that this is even able to happen, right? This miracle is being shared and expressed in this way at this time that you find it, of course. And it's like knowing just how deep, how powerful the thing is that you want to give and share, but then knowing that like it's not where it needs to be. I remember in a previous reading I was speaking about like having art but creating the world around it. And it's like, while my art or this channel and everything in it already exists, this candle is going off. Goodness gracious. I don't usually do this, but for some reason I feel like I need to bring it into the reading today. I'm gonna leave it here so you guys can see exactly what I'm seeing, and I hope it like reflects nicely, because whenever it flickers, I want you to know that I'm not like saying a whole bunch of nonsense. But anyway, it's like knowing, like Spirit showing me the impact that I'm going to make, and me spending all this time thinking about that, it's not going to like make it appear any sooner or any quicker. So that's where this miracles will occur naturally. But it's a matter of saying like, I'm going to remain in a spirit of expecting, like how the Neville Goddards and the Carl Jungs would say, it's about like manifestation. It's about that belief of you knowing that you have it. So using my story to apply to you, what is that thing that you are on an adventure towards, going towards? 1,333. Oh my gosh, 1,333, the divine in me, the divine in you. Come on now. We got the Holy Spirit here. But it's like, what is that thing that you are on the way towards, that you are on an adventure? There are up days, there are down days, and there are some interesting things that you go through along that adventure. But you are being reminded that what you know is destined to occur will occur when it needs to occur. But then at the same time, where can we further trust and know that at that point in the journey, wherever we're at, it's actually the right place, the right time? I don't think we always see that. And perhaps this reading is it going to be that the very thing. It just like a reminder, like a signpost, or like a marker, on the journey, like just to tell you like, yo, you're on this, you're going where you need to go, and you just have to trust, So very beautiful. It aligns with this adventure card. I have the Adventure Time Tarot deck over here. And okay, we're going to do something interesting. Let's like flip it around over like this. This is just going to get some cards upright. It's going to get some cards reversed as well. But right at the bottom, we've got the Four of Coins. Four of Coins, of course, speaking to, okay, the number 4. I always go with the number 4 first. But with the numbers first, right? Oh goodness, here I am like so lost in the shuffle. Okay, but you know what, let's just like do something crazy here. Okay, cool. Four of Coins. So Four of Coins, okay, yes, the number 4. Wow, like there's so many things happening right now. Okay, I think it's because of all these cards and me feeling the energy of the cards being what they are. Okay, let me just actually put them together first, because the energy feels like I just scattered all of it all over the place. Okay, there we go. Let's start with that one. Woo-wee. Wow, like the way I just connected with this deck, as soon as I touched it, as soon as I scattered the energy, my thoughts got scattered, and I was like, wait, what? Hold up. Hold up. But okay, you know what? Now I'm not even gonna say whenever this, guys, this candle. All right. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. Okay. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, 4 of Coins. So, okay, we'll get to the number 4. Let me just tell you about the card in itself. So, to think that that was part of the shuffle and also the energy was scattered, it's like, oh, snap. It's like, what part of ourselves are we trying to keep together, but that we know is truly scattered within ourselves, you know? It's kind of interesting to think about it that way, because, you know, the 4 of Coins is typically speaking to, like, again, being conservative, keeping things to yourself. It could be like a secret. It could also be like, you know, something that you have built or are building, and then you are at a point where you need to kind of release it or let go of whatever's happening. And, you know, just relating it to this reading, it's like, we know where we are going on the adventure, but releasing how the adventure looks, releasing how we feel about, you know, how things shape up. Because by the time we get to the number 4, you know, I'm thinking of 4 as like a structure again. It's like a square, right? All sides or all angles are equal within that. It's like we've gotten to a point where there is some kind of structure, there is some kind of stability. But then for us to move from the 4th coin to the 9th coin or even the 10th coin, it's like we need to make room, we need to make passage, we need to make the channel, which is what I was speaking to earlier. We need to clear the channel, we need to make the channel. Oh wow, here's this connection coming back to what I was speaking to earlier. It's like making room for the divine to like operate within, making room for these miracles to occur, making room for the Holy Spirit. In my case, it was detoxing from social media, making room to tap in, to tune in. But then in your case, I mean, it could be anything else, right? Like, where can you make room to better connect with, you know, what is better aligned or suited for you on your journey? And that could be so many different things. It could be, you know, making time to draw, making time to cook, making time to read, making time to converse with certain people, making time to research, to learn, to study. There's so many things that I think we're all pursuing, that if we carved out more time or created a channel, you know, a space for that thing to exist or for it to flow within, that we can kind of feel the current. It's like I'm getting an image of like somebody standing in like the middle. In my mind's eye, I'm seeing like somebody standing in the middle of a river, and we know the river flows, and it's like every time the water passes them or hits them, it's like you're getting a new download. It's like you're getting a new like thought, a new inspiration, like just new things are happening to you as you are being hit by these waves and waves and waves. And interestingly, you know, I need to be careful of this flame right now, but it's like, interestingly, I'm seeing how in this card there is a waterfall, and as we know, the water's crashing, and it's like the waterfall, it's just like that. It's like it's continually flowing, and you know, water's coming from one source moving away to another source, of course being assisted by gravity. So the gravity in this case, the force that's moving this water is the spirit, is this feminine guide, ancestor, angel, divine light keeper, if you want to call it that, 1939, that's here to like assist with the movement, with the flow, with the administration as well. I was getting administering, but I'm thinking administration because it feels like, you know, there's like a whole, again, a divine order. There's like things set up, you know, and when you think of it as like a administration, it, you know, linked to very much things within like municipality, minister, government, president. You know, it's giving very much that kind of a vibe where like things are being taken care of at a very high level, at a very high degree. So I think that's very much powerful, right? So the first two cards that I've pulled over here, it's the Nine of Swords as well as the Page of Wands, both of these being in the upright. Again, my voice is so scratchy today, and I thought something was going to come out as I cleared my throat, but nothing. No phlegm, nada. So I don't know what it is. Maybe there's also like some kind of throat chakra activation or clearing that's happening for you. That might be significant. Also important to consider, you know, things that you're saying, maybe that you need to say, things you need to be responsible for. Also things that you might need to listen to as well. You know, I've been listening to like so much like music lately. It's been amazing because not only am I discovering new music, but it's, you know, it's one of my passions as well. So I get to like exercise that, this candle, guys. and like, you know what, I'm just gonna let spirit cook, honestly. Like I'm not even gonna try and say too much about this candle because I feel like whoever needs to see it will see it, and whatever it's, you know what, this is the presence of our guides. This is the presence of like God. This is the presence of the universe, of source. You know, however you view the divine, this is the presence of the divine. I mean, we even have it on the table. This is divine order. So it's the divine, the one part being the presence, and the order being the administration. Like, come on, man. There's, you know, it's here. They wanted to be present and show themselves in this, you know. Granted, I have another candle on this side, right? But this one is like, hey, let's step forward into this thing. Okay. So, you know, here I am thinking about the Nine of Swords, and I'm speaking about the throat chakra. And, you know, I recall as to how whenever I would do, well, most of the time, not whenever, but most of the time when I do crystal readings for people, just to give you an example of what that's like, it's like, you know, I do a chakra scan on the client or whoever I'm with, and usually our spirit team or the spirit guides love to come through on the throat chakra. And, you know, it's just so beautiful that here we are speaking about the throat chakra. Here's my throat doing what it's doing. The throat is throating, you know. And here we have the Nine of Swords, right? It's interesting. I don't think we're going to actually pull out a lot of cards today. It feels like this is very clear. But it's like, that worry, that anxiety, that concern that we put towards what our adventure is. Like, am I doing the right thing? Am I at the right place? Do I have the right tools, equipment, resources? Am I the right person? You know, do I need to do more healing? Am I missing something? Am I, you know, am I the person that I need to be for this point in the adventure, in the journey? And, you know, for me, this is coming through as a overarching, yes. Like, there's a reason why you are the version that you are, facing the things that you're facing, overcoming the things that you're overcoming, learning the things that you're learning, going through what you're going through ultimately. Whether you look at it as a positive or a negative, it's happening, right? It's all happening. Oh, I listened to this artist that I found called Slime Dot, and I was like listening to this artist for like a bit of time, and I thought to myself like, nah, this artist just might be like AI or something. And I did a check and I found out like, yes, Slime Dot is AI. And it's interesting that like I'm saying that because here I am listening to more music, and now I'm bumping into AI music, you know, music that was created in a different way, in a different form, that still has an element of people in it, but, you know, most of the creation, most of the thought work, most of the feeling You see, it says here, do what you feel is right, and the candle's going off again here. Most of the feeling is like artificial, cultivated, if you want to call it that. Doesn't mean that it's not there. But then, just because like I could feel like, okay, I like the song, but I also felt that it was AI. There's something about like a human touch that can't be forsaken. That, there's something about a person's imperfections that make a song so much more viable, so much more impactful, so much more like potent, so much more meaningful, right? No matter how good something can go through like an assembly line. That's what's coming to my mind right now. I'm seeing like, I was about to say treadmill, but assembly line works best. But it's like I'm seeing boxes moving along, and it's like, people, it's like in a factory where people like put things into boxes and prepare them to be shipped out. It's like that's what it is. But then you can kind of sense or feel when something is manufactured versus something that is cultivated. Like, I'm trying to like draw a comparison between certain things. And it's like your journey, your adventure is exactly that. Your journey is the cultivated journey, not the manufactured journey. So you have a real experience, a real story, a real opportunity as well. You have real challenges. You know what I mean? Like everything that you're going through is real. It's not artificial in any shape or form. And as a result of that, you have to feel the feelings that come along with that. It's like you don't have to, it's like an AI artist doesn't know what it feels like to be tired in the studio. They don't know what it feels like to have to arrive there, to still make the beats and tweak all of these different things, because they are working on prompts, things that have already worked before. You know what I mean? But you as the individual who goes into a studio, goes into work, goes into the office, you know what I mean, goes into a home, whatever space that you operate in, you or your business, whatever it is that you do, right? You go in there and you feel like all the energy. You go, like you saw, I felt the energy of this deck. I couldn't even think for a second because it was so scattered. And it's like, imagine that's what happens to you. It's like you enter places and spaces where you know what your intention is. Like I saw the first card and I wanted to like say what that was about, but it's like, as much as you know what you are doing, you have to keep your eye on the prize regardless of any other interference or any other energy that might deter you. But then, just like I did, getting things into divine order. Look how Spirit's cooking with me right now and putting it into this reading. It's like, as soon as you can place the energies, then you're able to realize like, oh snap, like actually there's nothing for me to actually worry about right now, because I'm in the right place, and all I needed to do was take a breath and kind of, using me as the example, I kind of had to like just collect myself, collect the cards, and then boom, I was straight back into it, and we got straight back into this. So look at all these swords, right? That's the communication, that's the wisdom, that's the knowledge, and they are all in order, all up against this wall, and look at that, it's stacking up. So I also think of this as like, like in terms of like your spiritual gifts. Excuse me. If you, oh goodness, confirmation perhaps are coming through today. If you have a spiritual gift and you know that you should be using it, this is the Nine of Swords, the other side of it, speaking to spiritual gifts, things of the crown and the third eye. It's like there's a better way to use your gift so that, or such that, it is in service of you and what it is that you are doing or seeking to achieve. So using myself as the example again, right? I'm going to say like, I take that social media detox so I can tap in more, because I was tapped in, but me tapping in more means I can use the gift in a better way. Here I am saying that you're going to see more of me on the channel, or in my own day-to-day life, I'm tuning in to, whatever frequencies or energies are around me at that point in time and making sense of them, putting them into order as to what does this mean for the journey or the adventure. And I'm being encouraged to say that as I use these examples about myself, put yourself in those situations. I think it's very easy for me to use examples speaking about myself because it's what I know, it's what I've experienced. But then I come on here to share that with you so that you can not only relate to it, but pick like certain nuggets out of it and be like, oh snap, like, yo, that thing that you said, I did this, I went through that. And you know what I mean? It's like you end up resonating with certain parts of it, or it's like I'll plant a seed in your head, in your mind, that just prompts you to think about how you can best apply this message to you. And I think the other part of it is that it's confirmation. You perhaps have been feeling or thinking certain things, and you too have your own intuition. You too have your own gift. If you don't know what it is, you do have a gift. And you learning what that gift is putting things into order. You looking at the patterns, you looking at, the distance between things and how things have been set up, right, for you. It's like, why is my life like this? Why am I experiencing certain things? Why did I have to go into isolation? Why did I have to work that job? Why did I have to stay so long without a job? Like, you get me? It's like, think about your experiences, especially the ones that you feel have had a significant impact on you, like shaped you. Maybe a birth, a death, a rebirth, like a move, a separation, a coming together. Like, whether that be a person, a place, a thing, what was the impact of that? And when you now weigh a lot of those things together, a lot of those experiences together, I mean, I'm seeing this as the number 9, of course. So it's like, can you take 9 experiences, but know that it's part of one adventure? Okay, Spirit. Right? That all of those little pieces, all of those little nuggets, all of those little puzzle pieces are all coming together to form like this blanket here. I'm seeing, like how there's all of these squares here, and it's again giving that things are coming together, puzzle pieces. I'm thinking like jigsaw right now. That's from what the movie saw. So what did you see? Even in the dark times, or even in the horror parts, like there was always a puzzle piece waiting for you, even when it was dark. It's like, oh, can you see like the silver lining in the dark moment or period that you might be going through? Interestingly, I've been watching this series called Manifest, right? And it came out like years ago. I think it like boomed around like 2020 or so. But timeless, right? Everything's timeless. And there's this one character who's also very spiritually inclined, and he's able to like have visions of like other people. And not only does he have his own visions, but he's even seeing visions of other people, right? And oh my gosh, interestingly, Spirit is like kind of telling me that oh wow, you know what, guys, like the dreams I've been having lately, it's interesting because it's like I don't always okay, Spirit, you want me to say this? Okay. Spirit's like likening my journey to this character's journey, and I had not even thought about that at all until this moment, right? But anyway, this character, the character's name is Cal. So Cal, or slash Gabriel, is having his own visions or his own callings, and also having visions and callings of other people. And he can like see what other people are going through just by tapping in and tuning in. But it's up to Cal, or even in this case, it's up to me what happens with that information. Like, hey, do you go to somebody and tell them like, yo, I had this dream about you, or I can sense or feel or hear, or whichever sense is being engaged about you, and this is what needs to happen. On the other side of it, it's to say, you are learning how to use your gift. You are learning how to like tap in, tune in. Oh my gosh, like this moment, I just feel like I'm talking to myself for some reason. 3334. So it was 133, then now 3334, and oh my gosh, me and the triple threes. I mean, come on, guys. Okay, Spirit's telling me that like there's a part of this message that's for me as well. Wow, that's really surprising. Well, not really, but I come in here thinking like it's for the collective, but I know I'm part of the collective. So, yo, man, and this kind of been flickering, right? My gosh, this flame is flaming. Flamers. Okay. Okay, let's just feel this energy for a little bit. I feel like I just went off track for a moment. Wow. Wow. Okay, thank you for bearing with me. our spiritual gifts are the guidance, the signposts on our adventure. Just like I said that this reading would be that me being me, showing up in this way, it's a message for someone. You know, I would say not all messages are like this, but I open the channel to be of service to spirit, to be of service to the divine. And someone needs to see this. Someone needs to see just how like fluid, how the flow is, that I'm not going to cut or edit how the message is coming through. And if I can inspire you to even look at your life as certain things that are meaningful to you, here's one thing that's meaningful to me. Granted, I look at this as a positive experience where we get to elevate minds, elevate consciousness, tap in, tune in, discover ourselves. We go on the journey within here, right? On this channel. But then being within the channel means that the journey within is now the journey without. It's like it's expressed. It's showing that, like, you know, as much as I'm also guiding others, I too am going through a journey. And it's about embracing that with you now embracing it yourself. Or I just saw 3, 5, 4, 6, and it kind of looked like 3, 5, 4, 6. But it's like, how do things get into alignment with you when you open up yourself, your heart, again, we must just love each other, right? When you share that love with yourself or the people around you, the place and the spaces that you occupy, you get to see that those experiences, those gifts, those thoughts, those communications, those concerns, worries, anxieties, like this card is speaking to, you know, in the very straightforward sense. It's like they are not the things that have to keep you up at night, but rather be the indication that, you know, God, universe, angels, source, they are still working with you. They are still deeming you worthy of being tasked, being used as an example, as a vessel for certain things. You know, it's like, you know, in the spiritual community, we like to speak of like the chosen ones, as I would think, as they like to say. And, you know, being a chosen one doesn't mean that you're perfect. It doesn't mean that you are, like, you know, without flaws, right? But God will choose that person. The Holy Spirit will choose that person that is like a sinner and use them to bring about a miracle of sorts, just to show that, like, God's power is not limited or separate from even like the darkest or the worst of us, if you want to think of it that way. You know, even the people who are in the dark still have an opportunity, you know, or a sliver, as small as it is. Everyone has that opportunity to connect to themselves, to higher self, to God, to source, universe, angels, ancestors, of course, whichever naming resonates with you. But there's just a presence of another force that's here to say, like, yo, dude, you don't have to do this alone. And for the mere fact that I'm here with you, you know, you can get this knowledge, you can get this guidance, you can stay in the channel and receive the downloads or the information within this channel so that you can stay tuned in to the channel, to the journey, to the adventure. So whenever there is any moments of you even being like having insomnia, staying up at night, like having this overly like mental gymnastics type of a state of mind, like, what is it that you can do to tap into yourself, to better understand where you are in the journey, and then, like, you know, disseminate, like, place the energies in the spaces that they need to be so that you can better perform the version or the way that you need to perform. Wow. Wow. Like, I'm just in awe lately. Okay, that's my breath, right? But I'm just like in so much appreciation of how these messages come together. And yeah, I just thank you. If you're still here, of course, thank you. All right. Divine Order with the Page of Wands. So the Page of Wands is speaking to Page being a like learning, being a student, or being like a young energy, right? But then Wands being about, you know, how we the things we fight for, the things we act on, the things that we're passionate about, the things that we you saw how I just had to stand up and sit up and get proper, get into the right posture. It's the order, it's the administration. I felt it before I said it. It's like, as much as I was comfortable in a sense, it's like, this person in the bed was slouched over here. Was I not just speaking about some creativity, and I'm just seeing them playing the harp? So, definitely something about music. I think music is soothing, it's healing. I'm not only thinking about music that's circular music, but music like sound bowls, nature sounds, things of that nature. But confirmation rep again, just sounds, right? Sound again. I was speaking to how spirit is going to communicate to us through the different senses, and right now the sense of sound, what we hear, it's something that we need to pay attention to. Something that I've done before is a sound fast, where I spent an entire 24 hours not listening to anything, no music, no anything that has a sound, right? That is coming from a source, a speaker, a TV, you get me, a phone, no sounds at all. So even if something was playing on TV, or it was muted, it was just moving people, but it was muted. But what that sound fast did for me, and there's so many ways of fasting, here I'm saying detox from social media fasting, the food fasting that we also do, whether it's liquid fast, solid fasting, there's different types. But anyway, the sound fast is the type of fast that only allowed sounds that were within my external environment, sounds that I couldn't control, to be within my space. But that meant that the silence was louder, number one. But then number two, I could hear myself more. I could hear my spirit team more, right? And I think that's just encouraging you, me as well, the collective, to try it out one more time, or try it for the first time. Because in that time, you really get to sit with yourself, sit with your thoughts. And I understand it's not always the easiest thing to do. I must tell you, for the first time I did it, I broke the fast by mistake at maybe the 22nd or the 23rd hour, literally an hour before I was supposed to stop. And I was like, damn, I screwed it up. And I realized that spirit actually wanted that to happen, because it wanted me to do it for another day, So I ended up doing it I think 2 or 3 days in a row. But after that period, I was like, whoa, that was crazy, because the things that were uncovered during that sound fast were insane, right? But again, the only sounds that were permitted were the ones that I did not control. And even when somebody was playing music, I would leave, go somewhere else. So, take this part of it as you will. I think somebody needs to do that, but of course it's a large collective, so some people might not do it. But again, just try it out. 24 hours, just one day. No music, no audio from any sources that you control, and the only sounds that you hear are sounds from other people. Of course, other sounds you can't avoid. Maybe you're driving, somebody's playing music in the car next to you, you can't avoid that. But if you can avoid the sounds, and drive with your radio off, your sounds are off, and the people around you who know you're doing the fast, if they don't want to participate with you, you get away from them, But yeah, I'll proceed. Divine order and the page of wands. So the page, yes, like I was saying, the student, the young female, or the young person, the learner, the person who's still studying, who is, how to enact their passion, live their passion, to discover the wondrous, the curious, the abundant nature of just how your gift works, how your energy works, how to best apply yourself for the things that you are feeling drawn or invited or encouraged to be in or participate in. So this is let's say it's in the workplace. This is you can think of this as an apprentice or a protege. Whereas from the Page of Wands to, let's say, the Queen of Wands or the Knight of Wands, it would be like a maturation to somebody who's more established within the workplace, right? But now imagine this: you are just learning how to use your gift. You are now learning how to apply yourself within your passion, within that area or field or space or feeling. You fill in the blank, right, of where you are being called to put in, your creativity, your sensuality, your sexuality, just that sacral solar plexus energy, where you're directing that to. You are a student in that place. And on this journey, with it being this divine administration, with this divine order, as much as we are on this journey and sometimes questioning what this adventure is all about, each point in that is a method or a means to learn how to use that energy or that gift or that aspect or that thing within you, that healing, the mental capacity, emotional capacity. Here I'm speaking about sound, the hearing capacity. Whichever part of you is being exercised in that moment is for you to learn something about it. I'm just thinking back to that example about this character that I'm speaking about in The Manifest and myself, where, goodness, and I hadn't related myself to this character like this until this reading. I just saw 45, 54, so a reverse number, right? Because you see, it's me and the characters, like I'm seeing the character on the screen, and okay, goodness, I'm thinking the character's seeing me, like some Black Mirror type of thing. But anyway, every time I speak about this character, I just get sidetracked because I'm so amazed that like Spirit led me to seeing something that was like about me or a reminder of who I am. But it's like you being on your journey, you are learning something about how to learn a particular gift or how to apply a particular energy within you or that you are embodying. So let's say you are a therapist, right? And then you have some clients that have issues or dealing with things that have nothing that relates to you. But then there'll be that one client that comes in and tells you something that really touches you or resonates with you. It could be everything that they're saying or even a part of what they're saying. But those people were sent to you because not only are you there to heal them and help them deal with what they need to deal with, but then they are also messengers of Spirit. Like I'm saying, Spirit uses even the sinners. It uses even the people who are going through things. Even when you are in like your mopiest, toughest day, you are a signpost for someone else. You get what I mean? And that's what I'm saying over here, is that like how the people that we are surrounded by, the experiences, the places, the spaces, even the smallest thing of like seeing a bird. I mean, in this case, there's a microwave. There's a microwave like right there behind me, So there's something about how you can like quickly cook up something and like realize, like clock it, like discern how something is going to move or how things are set up in such a way that can you see the warning? Can you see the growth? Can you see the things ahead of you? The things behind you sometimes are the same. You know what I mean? It's like, could you even be, let's say, going through certain lessons or maybe not seeing that there's a certain order? Because it's like, with me seeing this microwave ahead of me and the microwave behind me, it's like, again, that what was I saying, that assembly line or that treadmill. And I mean, just look at the wheel that this thing is on. Doesn't it kind of look exactly like that? And that's what I was speaking to earlier. Gosh, oh my word. It's like, things are moving in the divine order, but then at each point on that rotation, in that wheel, it's like, can you take the time to see that, like, yo, there's something to learn here, there's something to learn here. Like at each and every point, there's something for you to like tap into and see, like, oh, I'm here, what can I cook today? Oh yeah, what can I cook today? Oh, I'm here, what can Spirit tell me today? It's like all of these different things are happening, and what are you feeling? Because Spirit's leading me to look at this. It's like at those different points, you're just gonna do what feels right. Using the same example of being a therapist, I think like the therapists or anyone who has a skill, you learn the foundation of how to be a welder, how to be a carpenter. I'm thinking of people who work with their hands right now. But then there's something about a signature touch or a uniqueness. Oh wow, now this candle is like flickering. There's like a signature touch or uniqueness to how one welder or one carpenter differs from the next, because they all have the basic skill. They know how to weld, they know how to find pieces of wood and put them together to make furniture or steel or whatever the case may be. But one carpenter is not like the other carpenter. And that is it with you. One therapist is not like the other therapist. One painter is not like the other painter. You fill in the occupation or fill in the energy work that is applying or applicable to you. One animal feeder or animal breeder is not another animal breeder. One gardener is not another gardener because of the hand. And the hand is, of course, the energy, the work, the force, the inspiration, the motivation being put towards something. And what do we have in here? Hand. Oh my goodness. What do we have in the hand here? It is the wand. It is the gift. And that's exactly it. Is to say, at every point, you have an opportunity to put your gift in action, to put your energy into action, to discover just how much your contribution to that environment, that place, or that space can become better because of your inclusion within it. There's a situation before you and there's a situation after you. And the difference between the before and after is the inclusion of your energy. It's such that you have an impact. It's such that you recognize that you have the ability to make an impact. And when you are called to do that or being encouraged to do that, then you now can decide like how much do you want to put into it, or how much can you extract from that, such that at the next point, you are now better equipped to make the most of that point or that energy or that situation, that place, that space, that person, that client. Because the further you go on this adventure, there will be more opportunities for you to use what you've been given and better hone in, harness it, tune into it, tap into it. Because further along, there will be those other people, those other situations that require you to have tapped in and tuned in these earlier stages, in these earlier cycles, or in these earlier parts of this order that is being established, this administration that's being established. As I'm thinking administration, I'm thinking like with presidencies, like, Obama administration type of things like that, where if one person just has a desire to be a president, it's not just them. It's everything around them that allows them to be the president. For them, being the president is just like the title. But when they say something or put a law into action, into power, into effect, however you want to look at it, it's all the people around them that move the different like pieces around and make those bills come to pass. You know what I mean? So it's like, imagine now, like, you are like bills. If I'm thinking of it in a very direct sense, it's like you are saying, hey, I want this money, and the bills coming to pass. It's like your spirit team, they are the ones making that happen. They are the ones orchestrating or administering that. They are the administration, while you are the president of your life. You are the ruler or the king, the god, the person who has the decision-making power, right? The leader, the emperor, the empress. There are other forces at work that are part of the administration. And now you have to know, which is why we need to tap into the gifts and understand what it is. Like, where's your pull? Where is your energy best served, directed? Once you understand that, then you can now start to understand your administration. You start to understand like, oh, no wonder I have a first lady. No wonder I have a head of communications. I have a head of defense. I have a head of, you get me? Like, again, I'm also thinking about like the cabinet, where they have like different ministers for certain aspects of the governance in itself. So it's like you now take notice of which energies are governing certain aspects of your life: guides, angels, ancestors, spirit forces, all the beings that are aiding you. Which ones govern certain things? So which ones govern love, money, opportunity, all those things, career, like the things that you desire. How can you better align with them, understand their language, how they communicate? And that, taking it back to the beginning, is you being in the channel. So how can you want to, let's say you have a money guide, a health guide, and a love guide. How can you know what the love guide is going to do and bring in the love if you don't spend time in the love energy or money energy or health energy? Because you need to be in those channels to receive the messages that they have for you within that area, within that space, within that adventure, because each of those channels have their own lessons, which is what the page is speaking to, right? Because as soon as you, let's say, for example, let's say like it's a health guide and you wanted to lose weight or gain weight or tone up, gain more muscle, whatever the case may be. The person who starts gymming and the person who's been gymming for like 5 years, they are at different points in the channel, in the adventure. And what the person knows at the beginning and what the person knows at 5 years on, it could be the same person at 2 different points or even 2 different people. They would be saying different things about what going to the gym is like or feels like, and oh my gosh, my right ear is just like, I'm hearing a twee sound right now. And early on, was I not just saying that there might be bells or ringing sounds? And here I'm getting one right now. But it's like, it's to say, you starting the health journey or you starting opening the channel means that that version of you at the beginning knows that there's something coming. But then the version of you that's been in the channel for some time will have learned certain things to better know how to manage that aspect. So the 5-year athlete or the 5-year person who's been going to gym for 5 years knows more about their body, their health, than the person who's been doing it for a year, because they've spent some time understanding how their body works because of the journey that happened between that first day to the 5th year, right? So now what about that type of a journey, but within those other aspects, within love, within finance, within career? Because you now at this age, at this point in time, know things that the version from you yesterday didn't or doesn't know, a year ago didn't know, and however long before it didn't know. And this is just a reminder as well. I think, okay, the message is actually closing out. It's like it's a reminder to give yourself grace, a reminder that like you didn't make it this far just to make it this far. And whenever you are at a certain point in your journey and you feel like, oh my gosh, what's going on, I don't understand, and all of that, just look back. Just think back or think about all the things that you've overcome and the area that you want to further advance in. Think about the advancements that you've already made as evidence, as motivation, as the encouragement to continue even in the current phase that you're in. Yeah, I was right. I was right. There was nothing else to say or add on to this message, and I'm glad that it came to in the way that it did. Please use me as an example of just how things happen in motion when we just flow within the energy and are within the channel. So choose your channel. Tune into your channel. What is the frequency that you want to align with? Here I am saying, like at the onset of the reading, I was speaking about like how here we elevate vibes, we're in high vibration. So you're going to raise your frequency and your vibration and put it at the place that you feel is in alignment with you or serving you, and know that there are certain things of that level or that vibration that you are going to experience. The saying new levels, new devils comes to mind. But also think of it like school, with each grade or each class or each standard that you go through, you are also tested on that level. It doesn't mean that you are exempt from going through things at that point in time, but it's just a reminder to say, even at that level, there's things to learn. And you made it to that level because of all the levels that you passed before. So yeah, let's leave this message right here. Thank you so much. Much love, much light. 5917, 5918, and peace, gang. Always love. Yeah, yeah. 2, 3.